quiet. A lot of talk around here about Steve Collins. Let's have a little look at Steve Collins now, the Irishman, the #1 contender. He's in against a pretty talented rough tough brummie called Paul Wesley. Collins is wearing the green trunks. It's a scheduled 8-rounder. Let's rejoin our commentators, Jim and Reg.
And another look then at Steve Collins. The Dubliner is definitely going to fight tonight's winner for the championship, and when he wants to be, a very accomplished boxer indeed. Paul Wesley from Birmingham loves these candy strap shorts. He wears them in all the fights. He gives people a run for their money. If you looked at his record, you think he's not all that good, but he always gives people a hard time, and went the full distance with Chris Pyatt. And that was not so long ago at the Grosvenor House in London. Steve Collins boxed as a substitute last time up in Belfast when Eamon Loughran fought the Italian, and that was fighting Johnny Melfer of Gloucester for the second time, and it's the best we've seen him, I think, since he came back from America, where he's with the Marvin Hagler camp, the Petronelli brothers, and now he's with Barry Hearn's Matchroom team. Only lost 3 of 29 fights, Steve Collins. Very accomplished performer. But you'll find that Wesley's tricky enough customer. But of course the odds would be heavily on Steve Collins. I don't think Wesley's going to do his traditional little bits of show-off sometimes. He's done it. He had tassels on his knees at one time, looked like a Morris dancer getting in the ring. He doesn't do that. He wouldn't do it for this fight anyway.
Well, I've always had quite a fair opinion of Paul Wesley. He's a good all-round boxer, a good defensive boxer. Just sometimes he lacks a little bit of ambition to push himself all the way. But I think he's going to give us a good line on Collins. Most of Collins' recent fights have been against people he's just far too good for. So he's only been half-hearted, he's never had to work hard. So I think Paul Wesley, if he's in shape and if he fancies the job, he's going to make Collins work a little bit harder. So maybe let us just judge how good he is now. And the fact that he's fought Pyatt recently, it's going to be a good comparison just to see how good a job Steve Collins can do on him.
Mark down, take him out.
Break!
Referee is Reg Thompson.
Yeah, that was nice counter punching from Collins there. Just waited his chance and sprung right back in.
Well, he's been in with the big names, Jim, hasn't he? And in majority decisions to Reggie Johnson and Sambu Cullenbay in championship fights, one in New Jersey and one in Italy. And then he fought Mike McCullum, a really good champion. And that was a good fight too in Boston. And there it is, the statistics now for Steve Collins. He's entitled to a bit more exposure really than he's been getting, because the trade know he can fight. He has messed around in some of the non-title fights recently, but he did look the business in the second fight with Melfer in Belfast. 15 stopped. There's Paul Wesley. 42 fights this fella's had. He hasn't won all that many. No, he hasn't. There, it tells you there. And drawn 4 of them, so that shows he's in a lot of close ones, and he doesn't always get the best of the verdict. Manager, Nobby Nobbs, bit of a character, this one, out of the Birmingham area.
Seconds out, round 2.
Second round coming up. And only just a few flurries early on there with Collins.
Wesley looks as though he wants to make it tough for him, Reg. I mean, he is a decent fighter, and if he fancies the job tonight, he's going to give Collins some hot times.
slapped for that right-hand punch, though, just like him, Collins, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a strange punch, but still, most of his punching has been good in the first round. He put them together quite well. He sprung into action nicely, Collins. I think he's got himself sharpened up. I've always felt that Collins needs a fight that means something. His recent fights, which we've covered, have been meaningless. Guys he's too good for. He really needs a world championship fight to bring out the best. This is good stuff from Collins, Ray. Just as good as I've seen him.
He's not the easiest fighter to knock over, Paul Wesley. Years ago, Rod Douglas did it. Now retired, publican in London.
Here you go! Here you go! Here you go!
But he usually stays the course with everybody.
There you go!
He's getting through. He's not throwing too many punches in this round, Wesley, but the few that he's letting go are catching Collins. And putting him on the defensive as well, I might add. Ah, just a slip. That was a little bit wild, that right hand from Wesley. You can see how Wesley keeps the weight on his back foot, just trying to draw leads so as he can swing back in with the right hand counter. This is a more intense battle than the one with Wesley and Pyatt. Pyatt boxed him from long range a bit better than Collins. This is really getting involved.
Wesley's one of these fellas that promoters know when they call him to come down, he's going to give everybody trouble. Won't always get the verdict, but he'll be in there.
See, I've always felt that Wesley's not far off from just being amongst the top boys. You know, he's got a lot of talent, good defensive boxing, but you know, he doesn't sustain. He kind of messes about a little bit too often.
Third round, scheduled for 8. And the Irishman, Steve Collins, he's finding it not easy now. It's this good journeyman, Paul Wesley. But there's so much at stake for Collins, he really doesn't want to make any mistake at all. His next fight could be the WBO Championship of the World Challenger.
I like the way Collins is prepared to let the punches go in 3s and 4s. He's not just trying to single, he's working with the single jabs well. But every chance he's letting some punches flow. That's a dangerous looking uppercut from Wesley.
Did well, Collins, with the weight, because I know he came in as a substitute when he defeated Johnny Melfer in Belfast. He was 12 stone 2. And he came in 11, 8 and 6 ounces for this fight. Little switch to southpaw briefly there by Wesley. Oh, stamped his feet there, Jim. As if to say, what was that all about?
Wesley's getting outworked and outpointed so far, but he's putting up a good show. This is a good test for Collins.
Turn him, keep flicking, flick that jab. One in the back, all legs up. Jump the legs, Stephen. Boy, bend your left leg.
Takes a good punch, Wesley. It'll need to in this fight.
Yeah, he's just been outworked. Collins is that bit stronger and he's certainly thrown more punches.
He learned a bit of the American style out there in 21 fights in the States. holds a thing called the WBO Continental Championship. I don't know whether that gives you a discount if you stay at those hotels, but that's about all it's worth. Good bit of hard exercise, perhaps a bit more than that now for Steve Collins. Championship challenger.
Well, I've never seen anybody having an easy time with Wesley, and he's quite pumped up for this. He probably looks upon this as if he can score an upset, get himself among the big boys.
He did that, remember, Jim, at the Royal Albert Hall when he got a draw with Tony Collins, when he was very much the underdog. Well, he fancies himself to win. He's been saying that in his local papers anyway, that can I leapfrog this and try and get in with the big fight winner. Jim?
Well, when it comes right down to the nitty-gritty, then Collins is the stronger of the two, and he's putting punches together better. But he's still got a lot of problems in front of him, I think.
Seconds out, round 4.
Out for the fourth round then of the scheduled 8. And sometimes warm-ups for fighters can become a bit too hot. And in the way it is for Collins, he's winning okay. But Paul Wesley, well, he's tricky, tough, willing. Throws plenty of level though, Collins. It's an entertaining fighter.
Yeah, well, I think he's realised himself that this is going to be a busy night for him. He's got himself in good shape, he's sharpening up. He's obviously training with a world title fight in mind, so his attitude is good and sharp. But it's just as well because Wesley is very lively. Wesley's not throwing a lot of punches, but he's a fair success rate with the punches he does throw. He's getting through to Collins.
Only threatening with the right hand there, just waiting to see the opening properly. Oh, he's tried the left hook instead anyway. Well, left swing really.
So you can see how Wesley, he keeps his weight on his back foot, just waiting to lean back from the lead and spring with a counter, and he's quite successful with this. He's just slightly leaning on his back foot, just trying to draw the lead from Collins. This is a good battle, Reg. This is two good pros we're watching.
Yeah, the Essex crowd can afford to be very neutral here.
Yeah, good, some success with the long range stuff coming from Wesley now.
Not the easiest fighter to catch Wesley, is it, Jim? He slips away cleverly.
Yeah, as I said in the first round, I've got a high opinion of Wesley. A lot of talent, a lot of experience. And as I say, I've never seen anybody have an easy night with him. He's just been outworked a little bit. Collins doing the right thing, keeping the pressure up. Now is Wesley just acting or here? Is he a little bit shaken? I think he's just really acting. He's going to have to start throwing back. Here it comes.
Sort of winds himself up by standing the floor there, doesn't he? It's almost like a wrestling referee saying, you know, do you submit? You count in 3.
That's another good jab from Wesley, catching Collins cleanly with those jabs.
round then. And Steve Collins get, well, pretty good workout one way or another against Paul Wesley. I mean, you think that Collins has been in with 3 very good world champions, Reggie Johnson, Sambu Kalambe, and Mike McCullum, a great ring general, and taken them all down to the wire, really. It's good performances. So he needs to really sharpen it up now that he's in Britain. Boxing is only had a couple of fights in Ireland.
See, I think this is a night where Collins should use his strength and his punch rate. Wesley's not an opponent you want to try the fancy stuff with, because he's very sleek himself. And if he can encourage Collins to drop the pace, he's going to make it far more difficult. See, Collins wants to do this, dictate the pace, keep the punches flowing and use his strength. This is good stuff from Collins.
Well, no knockdowns so far, in case you've joined us late. And scheduled for 8 rounds at the middleweight division. And we're midway through the 5th round. Bit cheeky when he turns southpaw and picks a punch off Wesley.
Yeah, well, he can do a little bit of everything. See, he's landing well when he lets the punches go. He's not throwing enough punches, I don't think, to win the fight, Wesley. But when he does let the punches go, he's landing cleanly, and he's showing a few gaps in Collins' defence. See, there's that right hand again.
Yeah, he can't afford to take those.
I have to say, Collins is outworking him in most of the rounds.
Yeah, that's it, right, coming up at the end of the round.
That was just the old-fashioned 1-2, and it worked perfectly.
Good win on there when he beat Tony Thornton, who fought Eubank. Jim?
Well, Wesley's under pressure for most of the time, but still very dangerous with the right hands he comes back with. But again, Collins' work rate has to be nicking the rounds. Been caught with clean counters, but not enough of them to turn the tide in his favour. But see, that's that right hand again. He's always ready to come back with a single counter.
Knows his business, doesn't he? 31 years old now, Paul Wesley. His last fight, he beat Warren Stowe in a light middleweight eliminator, weighed 10 stone 13. He's 11-6 for this one. 6th round. And the Dubliner Steve Collins, well, comfortably ahead, Jim, but getting a real good workout here by Wesley.
Yeah, I think Collins must be thinking this is more of a warm-up than I could be doing with. And this is a hard night's work for him. You would imagine the longer it goes, Collins' natural strength. I mean, Collins must normally walk around well over the 12 stone. So he's a big middleweight, and the longer this fight goes, you would imagine his strength will maybe start to take the steam out of Wesley. Well, Wesley taking the shots without any problems and still managing to push Collins back. Good work rate from Collins, always all the way through. It's been a good work rate.
Yeah, he's fought himself into shape there if he wasn't already.
This is good action, Reg. Both standing their ground. No signs yet that Collins is too strong for Wesley. This is good stuff.
As you said earlier, Jim, you know, a couple of good pros these, aren't they? Well, almost veterans, 29 and 31.
It's still Wesley coming forward. I mean, he's done well backing Collins up this round. Still Collins the one with a slightly higher work rate.
Try not to take too many chances here as well, Collins. You know, he's not being rash with anything, is he, Jim?
Well, a few gaps have appeared in his defence, Reg, and Wesley's exploited them, but not enough to turn the fight in his favour, but maybe just to give Collins time.
15, and the 3 losses were against world champions in championship fights. Been a pro since 1986, Collins, so it's time he had a further crack at the world championship because he's justified it.
Wesley started this round well with a jab, landed some nice left jabs at long range.
If he goes to the 8th round and points, Jim, it'll be the first time in his last, now become 6 fights since he joined the Barry Hearn camp. Collins, he stopped the others.
Well, this is the most meaningful opponent I've seen him in against, Reg. I mean, some of the fights, he was just going through the motions. He knew he was far too good for the other fellow. But Paul Wesley takes your full attention if you want the job done properly. And to his credit, Collins has responded well, performed well tonight. And they're both just getting a little bit tired.
Well, he's had a quiet night, hasn't he, Red Thompson, the referee? And of course, no judges here in an 8-rounder, only one arbiter, the referee. And it's a half-point system, not the single-point scoring that we have in World Championship or European Championship fights.
Collins has been a little bit lazier than this round. He hasn't managed to pin Wesley down. Maybe he's going to have a bit of a burst in the last minute.
Quiet round the 7th, Jim, it turned out.
Yeah, well, I think they're both feeling the pace a little bit. Collins obviously must feel he's ahead, so he doesn't want to do anything silly. But he certainly dropped the pace a little bit.
Final orders then as they're coming out for the last round. Now then, let's have a look at it again, Jim.
Probably the quietest round of the fight so far, but I would imagine they're both saving themselves for a big last round.
Oh, well, one's aiming at the spittoon and the other's aiming for his nose.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, 8th and last round.
8th round. Final round then. And Steve Collins has had a really hard workout with Paul Wesley here. Accomplished fighter, the Irishman, and well, assuming he gets a decision here, and there's still, what, 2 3/4 minutes to go anyway. I'll give the winner of the big fight tonight plenty of trouble because he's very experienced and had 3 good World Championship fights and took them to the wire, all 3 of them. And if he happened to get it in Dublin, Jim, who knows, it might fire him to become champion at last.
Well, Wesley's still managing to back him up. I mean, I don't know if he feels he's got enough points in the bag to coast a little bit, but I think he'd be better advised to grit his teeth and start trying to control this last round, push Wesley back.
2 minutes to go. He's been pumping those punches in now, and it looks good for Collins now.
A bit more of that is what he needs just to put a clincher on a decent performance. Doesn't want to fall asleep in the last round. Let's let the punches keep flowing.
He'd love to stop Wesley now. See, Wesley's beaten Neville Brown, had him over in the first round, actually, one of the big turn-ups in the trade, and Neville Brown's now British middleweight champion, although he did lose the return on points to Brown. Only really a big light middleweight most of the time, Jim, hasn't he, Paul Wesley? He's been in the like 11 stone mark, and now he's up to 11.6.
Yeah, I thought the longer this went that the strength of Collins would start to take charge, but that hasn't happened, and Wesley's pushing him back in the last round.
Good exchange here.
Yeah, Collins for me has always had the edge in the work rate, pumping the punches out, putting them together better. Wesley a lot of good pro moves and some good single punching action. But I always feel that Collins has been busier.
Oh yeah, there's no question of the position, do you know? I mean, I doubt probably got a couple of even rounds, I would have thought, Wesley, that's all. Might be blowing a bit there though, Collins. Jim, he had a bit of a go there. And
yeah, well, it's been a hard one, Reg. It's difficult to raise yourself for these 8 rounders just when you're thinking about world titles. You think it's going to be a little workout, you're not psychologically up as you should be. And it can turn out to be a hard night's work, and this certainly has been that.
There's no point scoring up now, just go over and hold the hand up right away. Wesley's well pleased there that he's given him a good fight. The referee looking to go to get the winner and make it a formality.
Yeah, well, Wesley has the look of a man who wanted to put up a good show, and that's what he's done. No
Yeah,
complaints.
so there it is
verdict.
then. Sorry, Jim. Steve Collins getting himself right to the front now. Next fight, World Championship fight.
That's right, good fight. They enjoyed this one here at Brentwood. Steve has joined me up here. Steve, you didn't lose a round in that, but was it a lot harder than you'd have wanted?
No, it was harder than I expected. Looking back in the fight now, it's perfect for me because I've got the world title fight now on the 16th of April. I've had I had a hard 8 rounds. It sharpened me up, and I actually think Chris Pite now is the one that lost tonight. He looked great in his win, quick win, but I'm the one who got the workout. I'm the one who's going to be more sharp now.
How confident are you that you can beat Chris Pite in his hometown in Leicester?
I believe I am a better fighter, but on top of that, I'm a true middleweight. I think Pite is boxing out of his division. I'm a big middleweight who works to make the weight, and I'm strong, so I have the advantage there. as regards physical size.
But you're quite similar in many ways, aren't you? You're two pros who've been around for a while and really looking to make hay late in your career.
Well, neither of us is a novice. We're both experienced pros. We both know the game, and it's going to be a good fight. It's got all the makings of a good fight, and I look forward to it. It's my chance. I believe in the best in the world. I've fought the best out there. I've beaten the best, but I just haven't got the title to prove it.
And you've got a rather big event happening before the world title fight, finally.
Yes, my third child is due in 2 weeks' time, so I'll take a break. I'll go home, spend some time with my poor wife, stick through her fight. And when that's over,
that's a tough one.
It'll be a double header, hopefully, with me and the new baby.
Lovely, Steve. We
Cheers.
look forward to seeing you in Leicester in April. Well done tonight.
Thanks very much.
OK, well, we'll show you just how Chris Pyatt retained that world title in great style after the break. We've also got that Coca-Cola preview coming your way as well. Stick with us.